Isaac and Isaac injury lawyer commercials go crazy with CGI. Oh my god, they had a Super Bowl commercial? Wait, how big is this firm? And yeah, wait, this CGI looks pretty good. Was that Rebel Moon? Oh god, you just reminded me. So, some of the Zack Snyder fans are really unhappy with the response to Rebel Moon Part 2, and I keep getting tagged in a lot of it. Oh my god, the delusion I'm seeing there is actually shocking. Thanks, Arisa Rich. They think it's some kind of grand conspiracy against them and Zack for the reception of Rebel Moon Part 2. And when I go to their profiles, it's actually nothing but sucking Zack Snyder's cock, and I'm not exaggerating. Their entire accounts are dedicated to worshiping him. It's so fascinating. And yeah, we talked about that, Corgi. I think it's a good casting choice. He's so overrated. He's not even overrated. Most people don't like his work. Like here, you know, didn't we went through? I think we already went through his filmography, but let's see. I think what was the last movie he had that actually was received well? I think it was the Snyder cut of Justice League, which was actually pretty good. I actually liked the Snyder cut of Justice League, and I hated Justice League. But aside from that, from things he's directed, the last thing he had that was received positively as a director was Man of Steel. And before that, it was Watchmen. So he's worked on some things as like a lesser role on things that were received well, like the Suicide Squad, where he was like an executive, which makes sense. That's where I think he fits best. As some kind he was producer here, but I think he actually works best in that role, where he's not like the writer, he's not the director, he just focuses on cool shots. I think that's where he shines. Because everything that he like takes the lead on or works on in a bigger way, trash. Like, he cannot tell a story. Legitimately, he cannot tell a story. I was reading... I actually got a little deep on the Snyder cult. I was reading from some of them that kept resharing this one thing about how the scene in Scargiver, Rebel Moon Part 2, where they give them gifts, is one of the most moving scenes they've ever seen. And I have to wonder if they've ever watched another movie in their life. Because that is one of the worst scenes to try and give characters depth I've ever looked at. That's the scene I even mentioned in my video on it, where they give them these gifts for the hero crew. They're like, and this banner represents your no-quit attitude. You're so strong, with such a very bright, vibrant smile, a warrior who's always on the side of justice. And they just say it point blank. Like, that's all, like, that's Zack Snyder trying to tell you how you should feel about these characters. And they're talking about how that scene was so moving and powerful, and how, like, they think that this is the best movie of the year. It's like literally giving superlatives at the end of high school. Most likely to defeat Admiral Atticus. That's you. I wouldn't care if the action was at least good, but it's not, because every single action scene pretty much is fully slow-mo. So they drag on so long, and there's really no fight choreography, so even the things that are supposed to be easy slam dunks of being cool, like lightsaber battles, are lame, because they're slow-mo, and the girl, Nemesis, is only using like the same two moves over and over of, huh, 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 that's it. From a writer perspective, that's not even character development, that's just info dumping. Well, it's exactly what it is, the show don't tell rule, and all they do in this is tell and show nothing, and what they do show is in slow-mo. Painful. It's painful. That's exactly what I said. Zack Snyder would do so much better if he would just fucking stop writing things. If he would just focus on making his cool shots come to life in big ways, I think he'd be so much more, like, efficient. He cannot fucking write. And since he can't write and he can't tell a story, everything he shows loses all of its luster. Oh, that one's a classic as well, Parker. I saw that one. You're talking about the one where they like pins the guy to the wall and it's supposed to be an ad about the drunk drivers? Yeah. New Zealand drunk driving ads are crazy. Those go wild. He's not the best writer, but he can sure make some badass shots. That's exactly what I said. That's what he needs to stick with. That should just be his role. And there's no shame in that. Be the guy that makes the coolest shots. And have you plugged into other projects that are well written. Yeah, I don't know why he's so obsessed with slow-mo. Someone needs to fucking slap some sense into him with that. It is miserable. This movie's 2 hours and 3 minutes, and it felt like it was 5, because everything was in slow motion, so it drags dreadfully. Thanks, the resub frog. The Agrees bicycle commercial? No, I've never even heard of that one, Jay. And yeah, I'm very familiar with cup noodle commercials. Those went viral. It's bad, Josh, yeah. It's a 2-hour movie with about half of it being slow-mo. I was really tempted, and I don't think I will just because the movie's so bad. I was tempted to actually time how much of the movie is spent in slow-mo. Because Rebel Moon Part 2, it's hard for me to even think of scenes that weren't slow-mo. Thanks, it Prime Harder. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It'll get easier, Victor. Just get AI to do it. Actually, not even a bad idea. That would be a positive use of AI right there. You know what? I wonder, does it already have that? If I chat GPT it? Here's the Prime Nim. Oops. Damn. I'm sorry I can't provide specific details about scenes in Rebel Moon Part 2 Scargiver, as it appears to be fictional work that hasn't been released yet. Thanks, AI. Try the first one. Probably won't. Yeah, just giving me a synopsis. What a useless fucking answer. All it did was just tell me the plot synopsis. Thanks, AI. Cool. Thanks for the membership, Thomas. What a shame. I'll probably have to time it myself the old-fashioned way, which is painful. Hey, thanks for the raid, Eris. Good shit today. Loved watching the games. Thanks for some jelly. Are they all confirmed yet? The third one is. I actually just saw an announcement yesterday. They've got a guy who worked on Star Wars coming on. Let me see. To be a production designer. Which is... Can't be super excited about that with current Star Wars. Let me see who it was. Oh, maybe that was just like a rumor then, because I'm not seeing any official sources on that. A YouTuber did the first movie and it's 45 minutes of slow-mo? The movie's 134 minutes and 45 of them are spent in slow-mo on the first one, and there's more in the second. That makes me so curious. Hold on. What YouTuber? I want to see. Why Rebel Moon sucks. Cool. What happens when slow-mo is half the movie? This is that scene I always reference where he jogs for like 2 straight minutes in slow motion. Which video is it? Is it Prime Kimmy? It's called How Much Slow-Mo Motion Was in Rebel Moon. Where? Did they do slow-mo like that? Did they spell it all out? From Mr. Angry Troll. Oh, here. How much? Nice.
Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon just came out a couple days ago, and it's a 2 hour and 15 minutes of a muddled mess, but also full of slow motion. What if I told you if all that slow motion would have been at regular speed, the movie would have been a lot shorter. We had literally ships in slow motion, people in slow motion, shooting in slow motion, battle scenes in slow motion.
That's that jog,
For
baby.
crying out loud, even the rice was in slow motion. But if all that would have been removed and played in regular speed, the movie would have only been an hour and 30 minutes, meaning the movie had 45 minutes of slow motion.
Are you kidding me?
And guess what? There's a director's cut coming out very soon, meaning expect another 45 minutes of slow motion action and whatever face this girl's doing throughout the whole entire movie.
So I gotta just take his word for it there, I guess. I thought he was gonna show it. I believe it though. 45 minutes sounds about right for the first part. I imagine part 2 is much more. I think, not exaggerating, I think at least an hour of Rebel Moon Part 2 is spent in slow-mo. At least. Bare minimum, an hour is spent in slow motion. That's my guess. Will the last one be 2 hours of slow-mo? Yeah, he seems to just keep increasing it as he goes on, so by the time we get to Part 6 of Rebel Moon, the whole movie is going to be told in slow motion. The thing is, though, in that video right there, he pointed out even the rice is in slow motion. In Rebel Moon Part 1, I remember some of the farming scenes were normal speed. In Rebel Moon Part 2, I just watched it, and I can't think of a single farming scene that wasn't slow motion. So, like, when they're using the scythe on the hay, it's slow motion. When they're dropping bags of the grain, it's slow motion. It's like any time they're farming is slow motion this time. It'll just be a single frame. Yeah. What is Rebel Moon even supposed to be about? It's fundamentally a Star Wars copy, but like as told by Zack Snyder at 0.2 speed. But it's like it seems to also really want to be Seven Samurai. It borrows so much from Seven Samurai that it's starting to feel less like Star Wars and more like the worst fan adaptation of fucking Seven Samurai. Or, yeah, that's what it's called, right? Seven Samurai? I'm almost positive. Yeah, Seven Samurai.